Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Teleporter Relay Remote mod, which is being made by user Anthony Damned. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is, well, exactly what the name says, a relay remote for teleportation, which may sound like kind of an odd thing to have in a game that already does, of course, have a built-in fast travel system where you just open the map, click a thing, and go. But I see this as a very fun and interesting mod for two real reasons. The first being, it does add a more quick and convenient way to actually do your fast travel, granted to only certain set locales. We'll talk about that a bit more in a moment. And the other reason is for those people out there who do like role-playing a bit more hardcore and refuse to use the standard in-game fast travel system. And there are even hardcore mods out there that entirely disable that, but this will still allow you some form of fast travel, assuming, of course, you've been a part of the Institute, because, well, you are gonna have to go and unlock this ability with them. More, again, on that in a moment. For now, though, let's jump on over here and have a look at what exactly we are getting with the Repeater Remote Control, which is our aid item that you'll be using to actually, do the teleportation. Not really much to talk about with it, considering it's not something that's going to boost stats or anything of that variety, but I can still, of course, at least mention the weight of 0.3, so not going to take up much room in your bag. And as you can see, it's just a pretty nice little remote. Looks like the beacon we already have in the game, just with a bit of a retexture to things, and yeah, is an aid item that will teleport you. That's really what it all does come down to. So a little bit easier of a thing to go through than our usual weapon mods, because, well, there's no major stats, no modifications or anything like that. Now, as for how you do get your hands on one of these things, well, that's where it gets a little bit more complicated. First and foremost, there are some DLC requirements. You are gonna need the Nuka World as well as Far Harbor DLCs for this thing. Now, once you do have that, you will need to unlock this ability to create it. Like I said before, you're going to have to be in the Institute, and specifically, you're going to have completed the Synth Retention Quest. Once you have done that, you can head to any chemistry station in the world, and assuming you have the materials as well as rank 3 in science, you can make your very own Repeater Remote Control, which apparently distorts harmonic waves on classic radio and allows you to teleport to other locations. Good times indeed there. The materials in question are going to be pretty interesting, though. You'll even need like all the way to military grade circuit boards for this to function. The rest of the materials not too bad, though, but those circuit boards might be a bit harder to get. Granted, you only ever need to make one of these things, because after it gets consumed as an aid item, it will pop itself back into your inventory after the teleport, so nothing too bad there. But yeah, so it's going to be a little bit tricky to get, just because, well, by default, you'll have to get to that Synth Retention Quest. Now, that being said, the mod maker does have an optional download, if you so desire, that allows you to build that from the start of the game. It just removes the Synth Retention Quest requirement, but personally, I quite like that requirement, because we are using the Institute teleport technology with these things, so it makes sense that we would require that. Now, as for how it does work, it is, as mentioned, an aid item, so we can simply click it from here, or more importantly, as for that, quick and convenient means of fast travel, you can add it into your favorites so that from just a quick click of a button, you can be on your way. And so, yeah, let's just go ahead and do that now. I'll do it from the favorites thing here. Hit up and Repeater Remote Control. And you're then greeted with this little UI. Now, first thing I'm gonna mention here is it is gonna cost you some fusion cells for this thing to function. And I really like that, because again, it makes this more of a less cheaty form of fast travel, rather than just the standard, click on the map and go around the world. You're gonna have to become a part of the Institute, then it uses fusion cells to power the thing. So yeah, if you are role-playing a more hardcore character, this I think is pretty cool, and it'll cost you 10 fusion cells, as you can see here, to travel around the Commonwealth, but 40 fusion cells if you're going much further out, like Far Harbor and Nuka World. Now, as for the locations, this is one downside to this mod. Sure, it's going to be quicker to bring this up, click your thing, and go, than having to head to the map and scroll around, but there are currently only 14 locations for you to go to. The mod maker did say on there that they may add more later, but for the time being, it is a pretty small list, but it's spread enough around the world to allow you to pretty easily get to not only major locales like Diamond City, but to also, get to the major sort of areas of the map, so you could then walk to your final locale from there. But yeah, once you're in here, it's quite a simple endeavor, though I'm going to hit cancel first just to show the fusion cell thing. So let's hit that, and you can see the repeater's been added back in as an aid item, so we don't lose it. But for demonstration purposes, I've got 150 fusion cells here for us to use. So if we say just travel up to Sanctuary Hills real quick, that's only going to cost us that 10 fusion cells. So click, and away we go with the usual Institute teleportation whole effect there, which again, I like. It's a less cheaty form of fast travel if you are, trying to roleplay a more hardcore playthrough here in the game. But even if you aren't, I still find it a very useful thing because, yeah, just hitting, like, say if you bound it to 1 on your keyboard here, you could, click that real quick and then be to Sanctuary in moments rather than having to look around. And now that we have arrived once more with the Institute particle effect, you can see that we have consumed 10 fusion cells. We had 150, now it's 140, and if we were to say head to Nuka World, we'd be then down to 100 after that, and I really like that. I think it's very cool. It gives you like I said, a less cheaty form of fast travel that's reliant on your whole standing with the, well, not really your standing, but at least your progression with the Institute, and I think that's pretty darn cool. And that's really all there is to talk about with this mod. It's not the most complicated thing ever, but I think a fun little tool to have in the game that is just pretty darn neat. So if you'd like to take a look at this for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description as per usual. But that's going to be it for today, my friends. Hopefully you all have enjoyed, and you do come back for the next one. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, well, have a good one.